So everybody has their journal.
I'm Doug, and I'm an alcoholic.
Name's Jerry.
Hi, Jerry. Jack, hey.
Sorry I'm late.
Can't be late, Jack.
Group therapy is common enough in film and television that many people's concept of what it is probably comes from those very group therapy scenes they're watching.
Yes. Would you like to?
Maybe not.
They are scenes that a writer can reach for when they need to give a character the opportunity to spill their guts.
And I just feel like... I just sometimes feel like it's all ruined.
But they can be more than just a trope or an easy excuse for emotional exposition. Let's look at the anatomy of group therapy in film and TV, its uses, and its cliches.
Thank you, Thomas.
This video is sponsored by Mubi. Use the link in the description to get a free 30-day trial. There are few contexts in which this type of direct emotional exposition from a character would feel natural to the viewer. Where else can you have your character openly discuss the conflict they're dealing with internally? Group therapy usually requires the character to acknowledge they have a problem.
I'm Jack, I'm an alcoholic.
Jack.
Which can be an important step to advance our character and our story. The position of a group therapy scene in the arc of the story often reveals a lot about how it's being used. Group therapy scenes early on in the film are often used to set up a flawed but coping character. Scenes in the later half of the second act often come after a character's darkest hour, when they have to accept they have a problem. Group therapy scenes used this way bear a similarity to scenes where a character visits a church. Church scenes sometimes have the same kind of emotional exposition we get from a group therapy scene, but in the form of a confession or a conversation with a priest.
I had a child. But my husband started running after the women.
But sometimes they silently show the character is simply ready to acknowledge some kind of moral failing.
Just say you're sorry for what you did and you're sorry for who you are. And you're never going to do it again.
But these scenes can go beyond the acknowledgement of a problem.
But you do. You do it again.
Group therapy scenes can involve the character acknowledging implicitly or explicitly that they can't solve their problems by themselves. They need help, and they're no longer willing to face their internal struggle on their own. And finally, group therapy scenes that come towards the end of the film in the third act can show how our protagonist has progressed and provide some necessary emotional catharsis.
I'm 14 months clean. I have a job at a rehab. It's fulfilling to help other people get sober.
Moving from troubled to reformed, from addicted to independent, from worthless to worthy.
I believe art is functional. Art is a tool.
Writer Paul Schrader, in talking about his writing process, relates screenwriting to therapy.
What you can use it to do is learn about yourself and learn about other people. I get 10 students, and we have 10 problems.
Saying he creates stories that are metaphors for personal struggles.
So essentially what you're doing is group therapy.
And if a story is built around personal struggle, it makes sense that writers might employ the tools we use to overcome those struggles in real life as tools for narrative. But why would you choose group therapy over individual therapy or a church scene? Story thrives on conflict, and a group setting provides the writer with more opportunities to create conflict for a character, both internally and externally.
This is a circle of truth. Whatever you have to say, you can say it in front of everybody.
Okay. Please don't try and commit suicide again.
I can't believe you just said that. That is my private experience.
Few people would go to individual therapy and refuse to talk, but the pressure to step out and speak in front of others in group therapy can add an additional layer of drama for our character.
Come on, try it. Yeah.
Come on, John.
I don't have nothing.
There's nothing on your mind.
Anything you want to tell us?
We get to see the character find the courage to open up for the first time.
My name's Annie.
I'm Hancock, and I drink and stuff.
right, thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
All right.
Group therapy also gives the writer the opportunity to populate the group with other relevant characters. The director can show their reactions, creating additional emotional drama, something you can't do with an individual therapy scene. The way a character interacts with the group can reveal a lot about them.
Coming out of my mouth.
Sorry, I'm late. No cabs. So get this. I met with this retail banker yesterday. I'm supposed to be getting him to invest in our fund.
And there's something about a circle of people that lends itself to interesting cinematography. It can be a much-needed break from simple setups that just involve 2 or 3 people talking to each other. Sometimes group therapy scenes are motivated simply by the type of story that's being told. A deep enough exploration of a character struggling with addiction or mental health will almost inevitably require a group therapy scene.
I said I'm an alcoholic and an addict.
I've been cleaned a few 24 hours now, and I'm still dead certain that my disease wants me dead.
But some of the most interesting group therapy scenes are those where the emotional drama of the therapy is secondary to the true conflict of the scene. In this scene from House of Cards, we learn about Doug Stamper's alcoholism and attitude towards life, but the real conflict comes from his speech being a sort of veiled threat towards Peter Rousseau.
Most people see fear as a weakness. It can be. Sometimes for my job, I have to put fear in other people. I know that's not right, but if I'm honest, like the 4th step asks us to be, I have to be ruthless.
This scene from First Reformed inverts the usual dynamic of these scenes and creates conflict for the protagonist who's helping conduct the therapy.
I think, Cynthia, what your father is experiencing...
Christians shouldn't succeed. That's what he means. Christianity's for losers. Jake. I just get tired of turn the other cheek.
And this scene from Better Call Saul sets up what looks like a possible emotional breakthrough for Mike.
It might be painful, but if you ask me, I'd say it's progress.
But he ends up taking out his emotional energy on an imposter in the room and the group as a whole.
Got our test results.
Oh, God.
Mike, you have something you want to add?
You don't want to hear what I have to say.
Well, we're ready if you are.
Huh? This guy was never married.
And his disdain for the group tells us more about his character than if he had simply told the group and the audience what he was struggling with emotionally. By now, a group therapy scene may not be the most original way to show the audience a character's internal struggle. But tropes like this arise for a reason. These scenes are often an effective way to naturally make an internal struggle more external. So if you're writing a group therapy scene, you just have to be aware that you're covering very familiar territory, and so you should be extra careful not to trip into the realm of cliché. This video was made in collaboration with video essayist Hodges Yu. Go check out his channel. Thanks to Mubi for sponsoring this video. Some streaming services provide you with an overwhelming selection that can make it difficult to sort through what's good and bad to find something new and interesting to watch. Mubi is a cinema streaming and download service that solves this problem. With a tightly curated library, Mubi isn't just a streaming service, it's a place to find great new films to watch. I like that with every film they include not just the film's synopsis, but an explanation of why the film was picked by Mubi. You have 30 films to choose from, and every day you get access to a new film. Try it out for free for 30 days by clicking the link in the description and going to mubi.com/ThomasFlight. That's mubi.com/ThomasFlight. Thanks for watching. Thanks again to Hodges for helping me on this video. I've linked right here to one of my favorite of his videos. Go watch it. If you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, go to patreon.com/ThomasFlight. Among other things, you'll get access to a Patreon Discord where we hang out and chat about film, TV, and more. I'll talk to you next time.